travel. So amazing job. And I'm not on my own tonight. We've got Taryn, who's going to be joining us. She's up in Madison, Wisconsin, and we've got Brian, who's not far from us. He's south of Atlanta. So you'll hear more from all of us a little later. So thank you for joining us. I want you to get yourself a nice tasty beverage, kick your feet up, because tonight is part happy hour and part dreaming about where your bike can take you around this world. So we are doing this all virtually this evening, and I'm sure everybody is very adept at using Zoom at this point in time. But if not, know that if you move your mouse, you'll get a taskbar where you can turn on and off your microphone. You can turn on and off your camera. If you hit the little CC button, it'll spell out what we're saying, so you can have that advantage. And the chat box, make sure you know where that chat box is, because we do have a couple trivia questions with a chance to win some prizes. So make sure you know where that is. And at this point in time, I want to invite everyone to turn off your camera, turn off your mic, and we'll invite you back at the end for questions and answers. So if you've traveled with us, you know that every day we do a route talk. So we're going to tell you what our highlights are. So here is tonight's route talk. We're going to talk about who we are at Trek Travel. And then we're going to go up that little hill. We're going to tell you why you should travel with us and what sets us apart from our competition. Then at the top of that hill, we have got 2 trip spotlights tonight. You're going to hear about our amazing Puglia, Italy trip, and then Vermont. We got a nice descent. We'll talk about how do you book, and then we'll come on up through the finish line with questions and answers. But please know that at any point when you have questions, as we're going through the presentation, you can put those in the chat box and we'll answer those along the way. And if there are things that we want everyone to know the answers to, if you had an amazing question, we're going to address that to everybody at the end as well. So no safety talk tonight. All right. First of all, let's get started. I want to tell you about Trek Travel and what we do. We believe that the world is best seen from the seat of a bicycle. And if you're with us tonight, I bet you do as well. Trek Travel runs cycling vacations all over the world, and we're always scouting out new locations for amazing adventures. And it's been 20 years of Trek Travel last year. Now, along those 20 years, we have won some awards. We take real pride in being voted one of the top vacation companies by our guests and our partners, including being voted one of Travel and Leisure's best for 21 and 22. So of course, we have our sights set on 2023 as well. So now I want to tell you how we make that magic happen and how we set ourselves apart from other tour operators. So rather than tell you about it, I want to show you. So I invite you to enjoy this video that is narrated and presented by our president, Tanya Burke.
Travel is transformational. It allows you to have a different perspective, get to know a culture, your surroundings, and the landscape around you. But a cycling vacation really is different. You can see things up close and personal. You can smell the flowers. You work up an appetite riding your bike, and so it makes the dinners taste that much better. And for me, it is the absolute best way to see the world. We meticulously plan every single one of our trips, from hand-picked perfect accommodations to the region's best riding and local and cultural experiences that really immerse you in the place that you're traveling. And these are all the elements of an awesome trip. Our guides provide exceptional hospitality. They're really focused on making sure we have a seamless and effortless experience for our guests. And they provide wow moments that you would never expect. If you're avid and want to go do some epic climbing, you can do that. If you want more of a leisurely ride, we have trips for you as well. We also offer e-bikes, and they have been an absolute game changer. People can go further than they ever imagined. So we have different rider levels, different trip styles, price points, and destinations all throughout the world. We go to North America, Europe, South America, Asia, and pretty much anywhere you can dream up, we can take you on a vacation there. The most important thing, and I think everyone at Trek Travel shares this, is taking care of people. And that's why we do what we do. It's ingrained in our training and it's ingrained in our commitment to providing exceptional hospitality. And our hope is that all of these elements come together and provide an experience of a lifetime.
She sums it up so well, and some amazing videos from all around the world in that video with Tanya. Well, we know that you love to ride your bike, and that's why you are with us this evening. So we are super excited to let you know that our already awesome fleet of bikes has gotten an upgrade this year. We've got a whole new fleet of Domani SL7s, just like this one in the photo. And these come standard with carbon wheels. They are awesome. I got to ride them out on our Phoenix trip, beginning of the season. So that is definitely something that sets Trek Travel apart. Our bikes are marvelous. And if you think that bike is nice, we also offer 2 e-bikes on most of our trips. This one that you see here is the Verve Plus. This is an electric assist hybrid bike. It's got a more upright construction, a low step through. Our folks love that. And then we also have a Domani Plus, which is an electric assist road bike. So it's got the same geometry as that Domani that you just saw, but a little boost, a little tailwind for you. And we find that e-bikes are really changing the playing field with cycling vacations, that it allows people of different abilities to enjoy the same vacation. And you cannot ride an e-bike and not have a smile on your face. They're so much fun to ride. So if you have not gotten on one, I would encourage you to get to your local Trek dealer and try one out, because they are a blast. So now get your chat box open. We have our first trivia question coming up next, and it is about e-bikes. So before I put that question up, take a look at this beauty. This is that Domani Plus. It's that electric assist road bike. So it looks very stealth. It looks just like that Domani. But you've got a little bonus to this one. So our question is, and put your answer in the chat box, which of the following is not an e-bike class? Is it class 2, 4, 1, or 3? Now, we love e-bikes because it helps get more people on bikes, and we are proud to offer the newest, most advanced way for people to ride longer, farther, and faster than ever before. So hopefully we're getting some answers in that chat box. I'm going to give you a little info here. So a class 1 is a low-speed pedal-assisted electric bike that ceases to provide assistance when the bike reaches 20 miles an hour. Class 2, low-speed throttle-assisted electric bike that's not capable of providing assistance when the bike reaches 20 miles an hour. And class 3, pedal-assisted electric bike that ceases to provide assistance when the bike reaches 28 miles an hour. And that is what a Domani Plus is. So there is no class 4. So the answer was B. All right, moving right along. Another question we get is about our rider levels. We classify our trips on rider level 1 through 4, where 1 is leisure, 2 is recreation, 3 is active, and 4 is avid. So to give you a better idea about what that means, a level 1 rider, this would be their average daily mileage on a trip, elevation, and riding time. Now, right now, we don't have a level trip offered, but if you think that's where you would fall, choose one of our level 2 trips and hop on an e-bike. Here's an example on our Arizona trip, and it's such beautiful terrain out there. Now, level 2, here's an idea. We're ramping up the miles, the elevation, and the saddle time, and a good option for level 2 would be our San Juan Islands trip. Level 3, here's mileage, up in the elevation, upping that riding time. And this is a photo from our New Mexico trip, which is great for level 3 riders. And then level 4, this is Pyrenees, C2C. Any of our pro race trips, our ride camps, they're going to be level 4. And that's a lot of miles, a lot of elevation, and plenty of time in the saddle. You will get your money's worth of time in the saddle, and you can get more information about rider levels on our website. Now let's talk about what's included, because Trek Travel includes more. We're providing amazing hotels. I can't wait for you to see the ones that we stay at on these 2 spotlighted trips. Your guides, daily breakfasts, most lunches and dinners. We have snacks and drinks all day, every day, as you'll see. If we're moving hotels, we're transferring luggage. We have those world-class bikes that I mentioned, and those will come equipped with a Garmin GPS with 1 to 3 routes loaded for each day. We'll provide a helmet if you don't want to travel with one, and then some great Trek travel gear for you to keep. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of what's not included. We're going to ask you to get yourself to and from the trip start and finish. And any optional activities in that area that are not part of our trip would be your responsibility. Some meals, we want to invite you to go out and explore that local culture and town and meals. And we'll provide some recommendations of some places that we know are going to be excellent. And then gratuities for your Trek travel guides are not included in your trip price. Now we have got your next trivia question coming up next. So open your chat box and get ready. And we've got a beautiful picture of the lavender fields from the Provence trip. So the question is, how many trips will Trek Travel offer in Europe this year in 2023? Is it 55, 43, 33, or 65? Just put the letter of that answer in the chat box. And I didn't call out a winner for that last one, because we're going to wait till the end to select a winner from those who had the right answer. So stick around and we will hand out some prizes at the end. So we have trips ranging in style and location, everything from self-guided in Scotland to our brand new trip that's Amsterdam to Bruges, Belgium, and 2 new gravel trips in Europe. There's something for everybody. So the answer to this question about how many trips we're offering in Europe this year, we are offering 55. And I have to say this number continues to increase as we add new and different styles of destinations in Europe. So stay tuned for more. All right, we have climbed that hill. We are up to where we're going to talk about these trip spotlights, and we've got 2 this evening. 2023 is here, and we're so excited for all that it holds in store. The fun of exploring new destinations, the thrill of new adventures, and of course, all the memory making that comes from seeing it all from the seat of a bicycle. So to tell you more about these 2 amazing trips, I'm going to hand it over to co-guide Brian. This is his 2nd year with Trek Travel, and he's just coming off the Portland to Missoula trip, which was a great adventure. So Brian, take it away.
Thank you, Kate. Hello, everybody. My name's Brian. Like she said, I'm a 2nd year guide with Trek Travel, and just last week I got back from Missoula, Montana, running a trip out that way. And tonight I'm so excited to share with you 2 amazing cycling destinations. With dramatic beaches and quiet roads lined by majestic olive trees, Puglia, in the heel of Italy's boot on the Adriatic coast, will captivate you with its wild beauty and culinary secrets. Savor the cultural landscape of this largely untouristed region, including genuine hospitality, fresh, excellent food, and regional olives and wines. As a level 2 trip, enjoy unforgettable riding along the coast to the southernmost portion of Italy. The terrain is varied with rolling hills, which are generally short but can be occasionally steep at times. The majority of the cycling is done along narrow, quiet roads, but surfaces vary from somewhat rough country roads to smooth, newly paved larger roads. After a hearty breakfast, you'll head out into the countryside surrounded by vineyards, olive trees, and the ubiquitous trulli. The trulli are typical limestone dwellings of Alberobello in the southern Italian region of Puglia, are remarkable examples of corbelled dry stone construction, a prehistoric building technique still in use in this region. These structures, dating from as early as the mid-14th century, characteristically feature pyramidal, domed, or conical roofs built up on limestone slabs. After cycling through Alberobello, you'll meet your local tour guide who will walk us through the narrow streets and further explain the history of this unique city. You'll continue on to cycle into the stunning region of Salento, enjoying the scenic coastal roads as you head down to Ostuni La Città Bianca, a whitewashed village high on the hill with astonishing views of the Adriatic Sea. There are great shops in the old town and narrow, winding streets that are enticing to explore. The sea is never out of sight this day as we make our way along some of the most breathtaking coastlines in all of Italy. You'll ride to Chiolo near the southernmost tip of Puglia, where you'll stop to enjoy a seaside lunch of your choice and jump into the Ionian Sea for an unforgettable story. Your first 2 nights of the trip will be spent in the luxurious Borgo Ignazia, voted the best hotel in Italy in 2018 by Travel and Leisure and a member of the prestigious Leading Hotels of the World group. This stunning 5-star hotel offers an array of activities and exquisite attention to detail. And your second hotel of the trip is the Palazzo Ducale Venturi. Built in the year 1500 and once called Castello Nuovo, Palazzo Ducale Venturi was first a settlement for the Templari and later became a medieval fortress. Many plates of pasta and glasses of wine later, it becomes your hotel. Speaking of food and drink, on the third evening, roll up your sleeves as we're joined by our own chef who will lead us on a culinary journey and teach us the art of making focaccia bread and mincioreggi, a handmade pasta of Salento. We'll enjoy the fruits of our labor for dinner, all while tasting the wines of Apulia. On day 4, we'll board a private shuttle to Otranto, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This port city is of Greek origins and has a range of other influences over the centuries, from Roman to Norman to Turkish to Spanish. Otranto's quiet streets and clean beaches are just part of its charm. The magnificent cathedral and imposing fortress add a palpable sense of history into the mix. In Otranto, we'll dine at a favorite bistro that specializes in fresh local seafood and ribbons of homemade pasta paired with the region's best wines. On the final day of your Puglia trip, linger over a hot cappuccino and soak in the gorgeous views from the breakfast terrace. Placing a capstone on this wonderful trip, allow me to share this amazing video with you.
Puglia is a really special place to go if you want to go somewhere that's a little bit undiscovered. There's so many little secret spots here that you would never know to go to unless there was somebody to show you the way. We'll continue our bike ride all the way to the city of Alberobello, the World Heritage City with the Trulli.
If you think about Italy as a boot, Puglia is the heel of the boot and is right by the Mediterranean Sea. The riding here in Puglia fits all abilities. Definitely a fun place to ride.
We start out amongst the olive trees. We're like winding through all of these little back roads. You kind of get lost in these little cities. One word I would use to describe Puglia would be authenticity. They're just really good at a lot of different things. They have amazing olive oil, they have amazing seafood. A lot of the wines here are little hidden gems you can't find anywhere else. They don't export them.
One of the best things you can do in Puglia is visit an old village and explore it and get lost in it.
It's really magical. You try and like videotape it in your mind so that you can go back and remember what it's like, but you just have to You have to be in the moment and experience it.
The wine, the food, the people, everything together makes this place so special and unique.
Ooh, y'all are lucky I'm still here after watching that video. I was half tempted to head to the airport with my swim trunks. But let's say farewell to this spectacular region in southern Italy and head a little bit closer to home for our second trip highlight of the evening. Having ridden through Vermont multiple times in the fall, I can assure you that there is no better place to celebrate the beauty of the changing seasons than the Champlain Valley and the Green Mountains. You'll enjoy covered bridges, charming small towns, sprawling mountain vistas, rolling hillsides, grazing cows, and meandering rivers. The terrain on our Vermont biking tour consists of hilly roads with lots of short hills and some longer climbs. All of the rides are highlighted by rewarding vistas and winding roads, thanks to the beautiful fall foliage. Please be aware that you will encounter sections of dirt and gravel roads on a daily basis, but as always, if you wish to skip these sections, you're welcome to shuttle in the support van. Our Vermont biking tour is best suited for our type 2 and 3 riders. Our Trek Travel guides can also easily accommodate type 1 and 2 riders who seek less mileage and fewer uphills with just a simple boost in the van. And those who wish to ride every mile but are concerned with their physical ability may want to try out our electric bike options. You still get a workout, but you can climb alongside even the strongest rider. Type 3 and 4 riders will enjoy the extra mileage and the climbs the Avid route options have to offer. For our flatland lovers, you are in for a treat as we will pedal on the causeway that connects mainland Vermont with the Champlain Islands. Undoubtedly, this is the flattest section of the trip. This abandoned rail line makes for a scenic and serene ride across this expansive lake. There's a 200-foot gap in the causeway to allow boats to pass through, and we'll cover that distance on one of the local bike ferries. And then for those that love to climb, there's a treat for you too. Imagine stunning colors, a winding road, a bright red barn, and a tall church steeple in the distance. Thus begins our epic journey of the trip. We'll tackle the west side of Mount Mansfield to Smuggler's Notch. The climb is 8 miles long with a 3.5% to 4% average grade and touching 11% at its steepest. As with most mountain passes in the US, the gradient starts out pretty mellow and slowly ramps up as you go along, with the final 3 miles averaging 7%. Upon summiting, we'll return the way we came with a rewarding descent and great views back to Stowe. And we'll pedal across some epic covered bridges along the way. One bridge to note seen here is the Goldbrook Bridge. It's one of the oldest, most storied, and certainly the most haunted covered bridge in all of Vermont. Legend goes that there was a young woman sometime between 1849 and 1949 named Emily who was jilted by a lover, and so she then died at the site of this bridge and haunts it to this day. But on to the unhaunted buildings of the trip. We have 2 amazing hotels. Our first hotel is located on the shore of Lake Champlain and in the heart of Burlington. Imagine modern luxury and fantastic accommodations. The Hotel Vermont is the perfect way to begin this trip. And our second hotel is what Vermont is all about. Warm hospitality, locally owned, and a true New England feel. Situated in the center of the village of Stowe, the Green Mountain Inn has a rich and interesting history. The property, which is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, has been welcoming guests, including former US presidents, since the mid-1800s when it served as a stagecoach stop and is operated under its current name for 122 years. Besides the amazing hotels, fantastic riding, and New England charm, we will also take you on some epic excursions. Did you know that Vermont is the largest producer of maple syrup in the US? We'll visit a local sugar house for a private tour and maple syrup tasting. Fun fact, pure Vermont maple syrup must meet strict quality standards and is graded on 4 characteristics: color, clarity, density, and flavor. Without giving away all the secrets, just know that you will come away with a newfound appreciation for the art and science of sugaring. Another favorite treat for our guests and guides is the trip to Ben & Jerry's, a Burlington, Vermont founded company. You'll get to experience the traditional flavors that you're familiar with, alongside some that may be new and unreleased. Ice cream is to Vermont as Starbucks is to Seattle. So, just to recap, we've got amazing riding, New England charm, fantastic food, amazing hotels, maple syrup tasting, Ben & Jerry's, and one last amazing aspect of the trip: there is no eye pollution. Yep, in Vermont, billboard advertising is illegal. Vermont is one of only 4 states to ban commercial billboards. There's nothing around to obstruct your views of this beautiful slice of Americana. And with that, let me say thank you for exploring these 2 trips with me, and I'd like to hand the virtual microphone back to Kate.
Brian, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Those are 2 amazing trips, and I've ridden a few times in Vermont, so it is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And I've ridden that causeway because it's totally worth it. You ride the causeway, you hop on the little bike ferry, and you get a creamy on the other side, and that's what the Vermonters call soft serve ice cream. I always love a destination ride, so fun. So let's talk about booking. How do you get booked on this trip? But before I do that, getting to and from that trip start is part of that process, as I mentioned a little earlier. So you will find all kinds of information on our website. So here's an example from our Scotland bike trip, and we've circled the travel details on there, and we have that for every trip. So that will tell you where you should fly in and out of. If there's trains that you need to take to get to the trip start, that info's there. There's even suggested packing lists. So we try to give all the details that we can to help you have an amazing time. And of course, if you need help booking your travel to and from, we're happy to set you up with our travel provider. But we have tons of information, and our trip consultants are always happy to answer your questions and help you get booked and provide as many details as they can. Now, we're not done yet, but you're on here tonight because you either got an email or somebody told you about this event, but we want you to know that we do them all the time. So if there's another trip that you would like to hear more about, you can head to this page on our website about events and see when we're going to present on the trip you want to hear about. Let's say you want to go on Majorca Luxury, or you want to do Greenville Ride Camp. You can see when that presentation will be and hear more details that evening. And here's the pro tip. If you want to just get to the trip spotlight, register for the event and then log in about 10 minutes late just to see the trip spotlight. But know that we're going to send out an email with a recording the next day to everyone who's registered. And speaking of that, that's one of the next 4 action steps: to watch for a recap email. And as I mentioned, we'll have that recording of tonight's presentation. So if you've got some friends or family members that you want to go on one of these trips with you, you can send them this video recording and they can see why they need to sign up for the trip. And that email also will have a discount on booking your next trip. So definitely worth getting on these events to get that coupon for your next trip. Then hop on our website if you haven't already and play around with that trip finder tool. You can look to see if there are certain dates that you have available to travel, what trips are going on. If you want to go to a certain region, if you want to stay in one hotel for an entire trip, you can search it that way. So lots of ways to find the perfect trip for you. Give us a call. Our trip consultants are eager to talk with you, and they are available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. And they want to help you find the right trip for you and help you get booked. And then get ready for your trip. That is half the fun, getting the gear you need, getting fit for that trip. Depending on where you're going, you may just need to start climbing some serious hills. And if you are not sure where to start, find your local Trek dealer at trekbikes.com, and they can help you get set up with the right equipment. They can get you measured for the bike that you'll ride on your trip. They probably have some group rides and some suggestions for you for your training. So we are now coming up to that finish line of today's route, where we want to hear your questions and help you to know all that you need to know about these trips. So I'm going to stop the slides, and feel free to turn on your camera and your mic so we can see your face, and you can just ask a question out loud. You can put it in the chat box. What questions have we got? Hurt just got back from the Costa Brava trip. The two of them just got back and had a marvelous time. So which one of these trips is next?
I mean, we're seriously thinking about the trip to Italy.
Yeah, we talked about Croatia, but maybe to Hilly.
Maybe. Well, you know, it's the same region. Maybe you book them both. Great. Wonderful. What other questions? I see, David, you've turned your camera on. Have you got any questions for us?
You know, I guess I've been reading about one of the South Carolina trips, and that sounded like an interesting itinerary also.
Greenville, Brian's
in the
been
Greenville
expert
area.
on Greenville.
Yeah, I've worked Greenville many a times, including 3 times already this year. I love Greenville. Let me throw a question at you. Do you enjoy climbing?
I do it. I'm not sure I enjoy it, but
Okay.
yes, obviously there is some nice elevation as you go north from there.
If you come along on the Greenville trip, yeah, you will do it for sure. It is enjoyable because it's super beautiful, and most of the climbs are pretty dang shady, which is greatly appreciated as you're
Oh yeah.
in Greenville. But yeah, it's an amazing trip. I love Greenville so much.
It is beautiful. What other questions? Well, how about this? We've got a couple winners from the trivia questions. So we would love to share those winners with you. So our winners for this evening are James Winter and Ronald Sklenny. So you will be getting an email tomorrow about how to claim a prize and what that prize will be and how we're getting it to you. So see, it pays to stick around and to answer those trivia questions. And those are our winners. Any other questions? Was there anything in the chat box that we should address to everybody? Taryn, Brian, did you see anything there?
No, I see a lot of right answers, but to the questions asked earlier, let's see. I hadn't seen any. There's no questions in the chat box, though.
All right. Well, if there are no more questions, please know that we are looking forward to seeing you out on a bike with us, enjoying the world. Thank you for joining us this evening, spending some time with us, and we can't wait to see you out there. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.